Hello everyone, and today we're going to go over part one of wargaming, narratively wargaming, the Rift War. And specifically we're going to focus on the Sanctus wall area. And just a heads up, there will be some spoilers. We're not going to go through the whole book, but we are going to go over and do a few reveals from the book. The Rift War takes place in the Nachmund gauntlet, which is a stable area of warp space between Vigilus and Sangatera. And this is vital because it connects Imperium Nihilus with Imperium Sanctus, and it is the focus of the whole campaign. Controlling that gauntlet is of vital strategic importance for the galaxy. Now, in the Rift Wars, Abaddon has sent Harkon World Claimer through the gauntlet with a massive force, and they're on their way to Imperium Sanctus and going to pretty much disrupt the whole gauntlet, claim it for chaos, and begin an invasion of Imperium Sanctus as it is. Now, it's important to remember that the rift isn't one just straight shot. It actually, as you can see in the picture, it spirals and the warp flows in and out of it. The gauntlet itself holds hundreds of planets within it that are part of the gauntlet. However, we're going to focus today on wargaming on the Imperium Sanctus side of the rift. A number of systems, including the Sanguis system, makes up the Imperial side, Imperium Sanctus side of the Nachmund gauntlet. And the Imperium has word that Harkon World Eater and this massive Chaos Horde is on its way, and so they've actually begun taking steps to prepare for invasion. So the Imperium evacuated a number of planets in the gauntlet that were in the path of the Chaos invasion because they were simply indefensible. And all these refugees who were evacuated were sent to the Sanguis and the Gorendal subsector on the other end of the gauntlet, where they were attempting to build a defense area known as the Sanctus Wall, where all these planets were pretty much mini Cadias, and every refugee who showed up was given a choice, the lasgun or the shovel. And they were either going to be fighting as soldiers or they were going to help build the defenses to try to stem the chaos tide. The main fleet was sent out in an effort to try to stop the chaos advance, or not so much stop as to slow it, and to basically expend themselves in an effort to slow the chaos advance, because the Sanctus Wall defense zone wasn't quite ready and they were hoping for reinforcements from the Indomitus Crusade. Major portions of the Indomitus Crusade did arrive and began reinforcing the Sanctus Wall defense zone, and that is kind of where Rift War leaves off and where we begin to be able to wargame it. Now, the book mentions that Alpha Legion and Word Bearers and other Chaos Legions sent forth infiltrators and began supporting cults, mutants, and psyker insurgencies in advance of the main Chaos force under Harkon World Eater arriving. Chaos cults and Imperial forces led by Inquisition groups began to clash immediately all throughout the Sanctus Wall defense zone, even before the main invasion had even arrived. The Imperials were able to wipe out a mutant colony of thousands in the Dark Pit area, a mining facility on the Korak system. Another Chaos Saboteur was able to breach the seabed floor overlooking a tunnel that ran a railroad that was hauling military supplies back and forth between the different continents on Bandowine. Another incident saw the recently arrived Priskian expeditions that had come in from the Gauntlet, sent to garrison a fortress on Sanguatera, turned out to be traitors and had to be wiped out by other Imperial forces, resulting in a serious siege until they were finally able to wipe the traitor units out. So currently narratively wargaming, the Rift War on the Sanctus Wall side involves just lots of smaller wars taking place while the Imperials are trying to build a defense network to repel the Chaos invasion, and meanwhile you also are dealing with insurgencies and uprisings and sabotage coming in from Chaos groups in place, and you've got internal security matters and forces trying to deal with that in the form of the Inquisition, guardsmen, even Marine help. And on the other hand, you have the forces of Chaos just running amok and doing their best to disrupt the defense plan. One of the best ways to narratively wargame the Sanctus Wall defense zone is to play kill team and run sabotage and assassinate missions if you're Chaos, and also run the Imperials doing missions such as Assassination Net as they're trying to take out Chaos cult leaders. Chaos cult should focus on sabotaging defensive pieces of terrain such as turrets, bunkers, launch sites for air defense missiles and the like, as well as doing assassination missions that target Imperial officials, as well as doing just breaking into armories and trying to grab weapons and ammo to further the cult's insurgent activities. Imperial kill teams should be focusing on stopping Chaos kill teams, as well as assassination missions where they're trying to take out the cult leaders, as well as maybe even doing a few missions where instead of assassination, you're actually trying to snatch prisoners. One, for public burning to try to raise morale of the Imperial populace, and two, just for information to further locate and destroy the cults. One fun scenario you can try for the Chaos perspective is just have a Dark Mechanicus type try to actually get into and sabotage the comm system so it broadcasts propaganda, whether it be terror films like the stuff the Night Lords would do. We have come for you, we've come for you, we've come for you, followed by screaming in that. Think kind of like Reaver broadcasts for those of you who like Serenity and Firefly, or something a little bit more sophisticated. It makes for a nice little scenario, and you guys can run like 4 or 5 games of Kill Team around the different cults trying to do things and the Imperium trying to stop them, and you can run a small little campaign set in this wider setting. Another fun way you can wargame this narratively is you take the Inquisitor rules for the old Inquisitor 54mm game and you switch it over to 28mm, and you can start playing out scenarios where you have Inquisitors hunting down rogue psychers and the like. These rogue psychers could be founding their own cults and basically tricking the population into rising up against the Imperial rule, and they make great antagonists for an Imperial Inquisitor team to try to take out. Alternatively, you could have these psychers acting as conduits for control of these cults by a more malefic entity, a greater demon of some sort. Bellicor, for example, might be influencing some of these cults and trying to coordinate their activities. And this again gives you an opportunity to pit a small group of Inquisitors and henchmen up against the minions of Bellicor and his cult. In normal 40k Crusade, there are a couple different ways you can do it. One of the best ways to do, for example, that garrison that turned out to be already corrupted by Chaos, is use the rules for falling to Chaos found in White Dwarf issue 476, where you basically can then run a mini campaign of a guard force that has gone to Chaos. And when you're playing it, at the end of the campaign, if there are any survivors from the turn to Chaos guard force, you can then add them to a Chaos player's order of battle for his Crusade force with their current abilities and things they gained in the dirty insurgency war that takes place in the Sanctus Wall. Alternatively, you could run a insurgency campaign for a cult that infiltrated in with the refugees. Such a cult crusade would require a reworking of the regular Chaos order of battle. Basically, base it entirely on cult covens, accursed cultists, and regular cultists, with the Marines being the rare add-on, and any survivors of the insurgency again get added to the main Chaos Forces order of battle with their battle honors and that they get. I recommend a small little ladder or tree campaign for them just to show their actions, fomenting rebellion and insurgency during the building of the Sanctus Wall defenses. You can also use the Imperial detachments sent to deal with the insurgency, gaining their XPs in that, and then joining up for the main force to try to resist the invasion, keeping whatever battle honors that they've been able to obtain. Such a mini campaign really favors the Battle Sisters Codex, but it can be done with other codexes as well. With small Space Marine strike forces, kill teams, and vanguard groups being brought in to wipe out cults, you could run them through a simple campaign. Or Astra Militarum units brought in to bring down and crush insurgencies or even renegade regiments and that. And again, you can kind of build up so it's a veteran unit at the end of it that is defending the Sanctus Wall when the Chaos Invasion finally arrives. And with the Chaos Fleet approaching, you have a bow wave of psychic energy approaching the end of the gauntlet on the Sanctus side, as well as the fact that the Great Rift is right there, and that's going to lead to a new threat. Demonic incursions are going to begin to happen and when they do, they are going to have to be dealt with. This is a great way for adding an allied Demon Crusade alongside the regular Chaos Crusade, as the demons are used to fight these little incursions that begin with the Psychic Bow Wave and the like, and then they can be used as allies inside the main Chaos Crusade if you so wish. A small demon incursion campaign is also a great way for Imperial players to launch a Army of Faith crusade force and build them up to speed as they are come together to try to stop the demonic incursion. And it's just a great way to start off a small force and kind of add to it and build and come up with something a little bit more unique and still play faithfully true to the lore of the Warhammer 40k universe. Ultimately, you're going to have a wide variety of play styles and missions that you can run to narratively play out the defense of the Sanctus Wall as it's being formed to repel the Chaos Invasion through the Rift War. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit like and subscribe down below. Thank you for watching.